The color of the month is purple. So let's see what random block I will be making this month. Hi, I'm Andy and this is True Blue Quilts. My local guild had a challenge for its members this year called the Rainbow Scrap Challenge. And each month a different color is drawn, so you know what color to make your blocks. But after that, it's quilter's choice. So I have been using a random selection, a roll of the dice, to decide which block to make for this scrappy rainbow wonderful quilt. And this month you wouldn't think that purple could cause such a problem, but you'll find out. Let's get started. Here we go with the roll of the die. And 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are doing a trellis block. Let's see what that is. Oh, lots of fun with 4 different colors. Let me dig into my stash. I've got my book with all of the cutting instructions. I'm just going to set it over here. And I've got my 8-inch cube that I need to pull out the various pieces that we need. So starting with die number 2, which is squares. So of course you could run this with just your normal cutter and cut the size you need. And the cutting mat is in a different pocket, so I'll grab that. Okay, we only need 2 of each, and I am using this nice plain purple and this kind of variegated. These almost look like gemstones on this other field of purple, but I think that gives me a nice contrast. So I just need 2 of each, so that's why it doesn't cover the whole die. It just sits on one half there, and I can run that through the cutter quick and easy to make those squares. Okay, so I have my corner squares for the block, and I'm done with die number 2, so let's get that put away. And then for the next one, we are moving to die number 5, which are the triangles. And they give you so many options. There's other cards with different block diagrams included in the set. It's a really nice companion. It gives you lots of inspiration. And for this one, we need the dark fabric, and then I got this gorgeous light batik. And again, they give you the rough cut size, which is just a little bit bigger than the die. And that's going to give me my 2 triangles ready to sew when I get them off the cutter. They're all matched up there, ready to sew. Set those aside. And then I've got my other pair, which is back to the dark purple and the medium. I'm going to lay these right sides together. As I said, they'll come off the die ready to sew. And I want to get those in position across the die. Run that through. And again, these are, if I didn't move the fabric, they are all lined up and ready to sew for my half square triangles. And then We're done with, nope, we're not done with 5. They want some light, so they gave us a big rectangle, told us to fold it in 4ths. The dies can hold up to, you can see there how that is bigger than the pieces that we're cutting. You can cut up to 6 layers, so folding the fabric that many times is not a problem. And I just peel off the scraps, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what I need for those triangles. And then we're going to switch to our last die, is a parallelogram. And I have not used this one yet. So it's all nice and shrink wrapped. And my tip there for peeling that. As I said, they give you some nice block patterns for inspiration with cutting instructions. Fun, fun. And there is our parallelogram that we can make, you know, rectangles with those corners. Some people make these with half square triangles and match them up, but this, having the die there, is going to make that nice and easy. And you obviously need 2 directions. So they tell you to lay the fabric wrong sides together. I'm using this pretty batik for my medium color, and so it's not going to matter. I can just flip those around, and I'm going to angle that cut edge even with my shape on my die and run that through. And there we have our parallelograms, and they can go in the 2 different directions that the pattern calls for. So I've got all my pieces cut. Let's make the trellis block. Following my instructions, I've got my units laid out here so that I can do some chain piecing. I need to attach the corners on my parallelograms and also sew my half square triangles together. I think I was supposed to sew this on the other side. I had those totally backwards, so let's try this again. Having that much of a gap is wrong. Okay, I think I've got it now. This triangle is supposed to line up with the edge of your parallelogram where that angled corner is. So make sure that lines up, and then you've got a little dog ear on the other side. Okay, so I can finger press all of these to my half square triangles, go to the dark side, and my parallelograms, we press towards the triangle, and we can cut off that little dog ear. whites are gonna kiss in the middle there. And then we have our dark corners and our light corners. Okay, so we will make our center unit first, and then we can start the chain piecing for the whole block. This unit didn't quite match, so I split the difference, and we will see how it works out. My points aren't lining up very well. Maybe I should scoot that down. A lot of times I don't pick out, I just let my wonky blocks go, but I do want this to be as close to accurate as possible, and that's why we have a seam ripper, is to try again when we don't get things lined up right the first time. Okay, so I want that to be right. Okay, so I'm looking a 1/4 inch down, and I want that to be right on my seam. So I will line this up at one end, and then I will end up trimming that even on the other end. Not sure why that didn't work out well with the pre-cuts, but live and learn, adapt. Okay, that's, oh man. And then I got it turned 90 degrees. Oh my goodness. This is quite an adventure. Okay, so now let me get that oriented the right way. Okay, so we want uphill, and then I am going to... And this is why I like using half square triangles. I don't have as many problems as... There we go. We've got a nice diagonal line there with our light fabrics. And on the other side, mirror image, well, not mirror image, same thing, it's going to run uphill, but I want that 1/4 inch to be right. Yep, so it lines up on one end, and there was a overhang on the other end. We'll alter our pressing on this, because with the bulk of those half square triangles, I want that to go to the outside. Okay, and then I need to even up this unit. Straight edge there. And a straight edge there. I'm going to lose the point of my parallelogram, but at this point, at this stage in the process, done is better than perfect. And these will go in so that those seams nest. Nope, that is not right because my corners ended up in the right place. Oh my goodness. This block is crazy. Let's see. I want it to be right. Some days you spend a lot of time with your seam ripper, and it's very easy to get things turned around. Okay. Luckily it's a symmetrical row, so turning it around keeps the parallelogram going in the right direction. Last seam. Now I can say, ta-da! I need to clean this up a little bit, get the stray threads off, give it a good pressing, and then we will have a full show and tell of my Rainbow Scrap Challenge blocks. Okay, we started off with blue, and then pink, amber, teal, green, yellow, and finally our purple problem parallelograms. I have a couple more blocks to make, and then this will be a fun rainbow quilt to donate to a children's charity. Thanks for being here. If you're looking for more scrappy projects, try this video next.